In other news now, President Bola Tinubu has called on the National Assembly to amend the Constitution to pave the way for the creation of state police as part of efforts to tackle insecurity across the country.
We will establish state police to combat the insecurity.
There's something Nigeria is about to do that will scare you. Right now, President Tinubu is pushing National Assembly to pass a law that will give Nigerian governors their own police force. State police controlled by governors, answerable to only the governors. And if you think it sounds like a good idea, let me show you what happened last time it was tried in Nigeria.
Siege of burnt-out vehicles and buildings in Ibadan, the capital city of the western region of Nigeria.
And the question is Tinubu trying to enforce this just to win the 2027 election? Find out at the end of this video. But before that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Talking about how this happened in 1960. Nigeria just got independent at that time. We were very much hopeful, optimistic. The British has left. We were going to run our own country, our own. And part of that system was regional police force. Each region had its own police. The Northern had their own, the East had theirs, and the West also had theirs. It sounded like a true federalism, like power to the people, like local solution to local problems. But no doubt, it didn't work out that way. In the Western region, two politicians were fighting for power, Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Chief Samuel Ladoke Akintola. They used to be allies, but now political rivalries, just like we have Erufai and Tinubu of today. Awolowo was the leader of the Action Group Party, and Akintola was his deputy. But when Awolowo stepped down as the premier of the Western region to run for minister, he had handed the power sheet to Akintola. No doubt this was a mistake because Akintola had his own ideas, and soon the two men weren't just disagreeing, they were fighting a war. And the weapon they used, the police. Akintola controlled the Western region police, and he used them to crush anyone who stops him. At that time, political rallies were attacked, opposition politicians were arrested, supporters of Awolowo were beaten in the street. And when election came in 1965, Akintola rigged them blatantly. Everyone knew it, the results were announced, and people lost their minds. What followed was Operation Wetie. Wetie in the Yoruba word, it means wetting, and in this context, it means one thing: drench your enemy in petrol and set them on fire. Street filled with mobs, homes were burned down, and cars were touched. People were killed, neighbors turned to enemies, families fled in the night. The Western region, which had been the pride of Nigeria with free education and progressive reforms, became a war zone. And the police, they didn't stop there. They were part of the problem because they answered to Akintola only. And Akintola wanted his enemies destroyed. By end of 1965, Western region was ungovernable. The violence was so bad that on January 15, 1966, young military officers staged a coup. They killed the Prime Minister at then, Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. They killed the Prime Minister of the North, Ahmadu Bello, and they also killed Akintola himself. 11 top politicians were murdered in one night. And the coup, it ended Nigerian First Republic. It set off a chain of events that led to the Nigerian Civil War. Over 1 million people died on this. And one of the reasons it started was regional police force being used as a weapon for the politicians. Now, asking the question, why does Tinubu want this in 2026 before the 2027 election?
Tinubu said the country must urgently restructure its security architecture to confront terrorism, banditry, and insurgency.
One may say because the country is falling apart. Kidnappings everywhere, Boko Haram in the northeast, bandits in the northwest, unknown gunmen in the southeast. And the federal police can't handle this alone. Governors are frustrated. They say, how can I be responsible for security in my state when I can't control the police? And no doubt they have a point. Right now, state governors are called chief security officers of their states, but they can't actually control the security. The police answer to the Inspector General in Abuja, not to governors. So when there is crisis, governors have to beg the federal government to send help. And sometimes the help doesn't come. That's the problem Tinubu is trying to solve, if one have to say. Last week alone, he met with the governors on Monday, he met with the senators on Wednesday, and he also met the House members on Friday. 3 meetings in 1 week, all pushing for same agenda. Pass the constitutional amendment, create a state police, do it before the end of 2026. And the National Assembly is listening. Senate spokesman Yemi Aderomodu promised it will happen. But here is the thing. Even Tinubu himself admits this is dangerous. He said there must be safeguards to prevent governors from abusing this. What does that mean? Nobody knows because the details haven't been worked out. And that's a big problem. Now, talking about how this appears very simple but quite dangerous, let me show you why it will worry you in future. Remember Governor Monday Abehobo of Edo State? In July 2025, he went on record and said, P2B should not come to Edo State without a clearance. And if he did, insecurity would not be guaranteed. 7 months later, in February 2026, government attacked P2B's convoy in Edo State. Bullets were everywhere, cars destroyed, people running for their lives. Now, imagine Agbohobo has his own state police, answerable to him alone. What happens to P2B? What happens to any opposition politician who tries to campaign in Edo State? On the other side, think about Nyeso Wike when he was Rivers State Governor in 2022. Wike openly warned that political parties were hiring armed groups to cause violence in Rivers State. But reports say Wike himself used state resources to intimidate his rivals. Now, imagine Wike had his own police as at then, not just thugs, not just cultists, actual uniformed officers with guns and legal authority. What would he have done with this power? Or think about states with ethnic religious tensions. We have Plateau State, Kaduna State, Benue State. In those states, the governor usually represents one ethnic or religious group, and the opposition represents something different. So what happens when governor's police force is made entirely of people from his own group? What happens when they are sent to maintain order in opposition strongholds? It's not hard to imagine. And this isn't just us guessing. We have seen this before. Just in 2023, during the election, governors allegedly used regional security outfits like Irubago and Ametoku to intimidate opposition candidates. In Ebonyi State, opposition politicians accused Irubago, which was created by Governor David Umahi, of acting like a personal militia. They said candidates were abducted, tortured, and even threatened. It got so bad that the federal court ordered Irubago disbanded in February 2023. And that was just a regional security outfit, not even a real police. Now, imagine what governors would do with actual state police. Looking at other countries who have done this, you might think, okay, but other countries have state police. America has state police. India has state police. Why can't Nigeria have it? It's a fair question, but let me show you the difference. In America, yes, states have their own police, but they are bounded by federal civil rights laws. The FBI can step in if state police violates people's rights. Federal courts can prosecute officers who abuse their power. And even with all those safeguards, police brutality is still a massive problem in America. Black people are killed by police at all times, and those are police with oversight, training, and accountability system. Now, imagine Nigerian state police with less training, less oversight, and governors who can protect them from consequences. In India, state police exists, but in some states, they are accused of extrajudicial killings and targeting political opponents. In Uttar Pradesh, state police have been linked to over 100 encounter killings, where suspects are shot dead without even any trial. In Ethiopia, regional special force became so powerful that they can challenge the federal military. It's led to civil war in Tigray and killed hundreds of thousands of people. In Kenya, during the 2027 post-election violence, provincial police were accused of taking sides based on ethnic loyalties. Over 1,000 people died. So yes, other countries have state police, but it doesn't always work well. And in countries with ethnic tension, weak institutions, and corrupt politicians, it often makes things even worse than you think. So what does this actually mean? Let me tell you what you have to know if Nigeria goes on with this state police. At first, it will seem fine. Governors will promise to use them only for security alone. Crime will go down. In some states, people will feel safer, but then election will come. And suddenly, opposition candidates will start getting arrested for disturbing the peace of the people, for inciting violence, for illegal gatherings. State police will raid opposition offices. They will disrupt rallies. They will intimidate voters. And when people complain, the governors will say, I am just maintaining law and order. And there's nothing the federal government can do about it because state police answer to the governors, not to Abuja. Then ethnic religious violence will increase because in states where one group dominates the government, state police will protect that group and target others. Christians in Muslim majority states will be harassed. Muslims in Christian majority states will be profiled. Minority ethnic groups will be marginalized. And when the violence escalates, the federal government will try to intervene. But the governor will say, this is a state matter, stay out of it. And Nigeria will fracture even more. And that's the part we are heading without even knowing. Now, in conclusion to all this, do you think Nigerian governors will own these police forces? Do you think it's the right decision? Because if we watch governors rig elections, if we watch them steal state funds, if we watch them use thugs to intimidate opponents, and now we are about to give them the arm, the uniformed men, the officers with legal authority. And here's the main question. Do you think this came up because the 2027 election is coming up? Do you think it's a plot by Tinubu to win the 2027 election? What's your take about this? Drop your comment and don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye for now.